Okay, I have the Uvistar Aromatherapy Diffuser. It's also a humidifier, and it also puts out negative ions to kill bacteria in the air. It's really good. Now, this doesn't look quite right as I have it rigged up here, because I have it all taken apart to show you each of the components and to describe it, but in a minute I will rig it up, put it all back together, and I will put some stuff in it and turn it on so you can see the LED lights, etc. But this is it rigged up so I can explain in a second. So as I've just said, it's a humidifier as well, so if you get a really dry, hot summer or maybe a dry winter, it'll help moisture, put a bit of moisture into the air, which is very handy. It's quiet, it's not silent, but it's quiet. It won't hurt you at all. You know, if you're trying to sleep, it's not going to be a loud fan noise or rumble that's going to keep you awake. It's very subtle, very silent, but it's not, very quiet, but it's not completely silent. So you should bear that in mind. But like I say, it is quiet. It also has, which is really good, auto shut off. So if there's a problem such as it runs out of water, it will automatically turn off. So it's very safe, very, very safe. It's auto shut off. It releases, as I've mentioned, negative ions into the air to help kill germs and bacteria. It has a low power consumption, it's 12 watt. It has a tank capacity of 160 milliliters, that is for the water. Some are smaller, some are bigger, so that's how much water it will hold at one time in its tank there, the middle part, the base. It will hold it up to 160 milliliters, but it comes with a measuring jug, and I'll point that out in a second. A measuring jug there that is about 110 milliliters, and I find that is enough. I find if you fill the measuring jug to the top and pour it in, that fills it up most of the way and absolutely fine. So that's all I do. I fill up the measuring jug that's included free with the device and pour the water in. It's warm water, by the way. You don't want to put hot water in it, but you don't really want to put cold water in it. You want to put warm water into the measuring jug, fill the measuring jug up, then pour that into the base. And I'll explain a bit more about that in a second. There's something I want to make sure you're aware of. It will diffuse for 4 to 8 hours. So you get about 4 to 8 hours use of a full tank. It's really good. It has 7 LED colours, and it's not really bright colours that are going to light up the entire room if you're sitting in a dark room. So if you want something like that, this isn't going to do it. It's more just to look at it, and it's nice and calming and looks really nice. If you look at it, it's kind of almost a bit of a frosted glass effect. Not quite, but the top is very sort of smooth colours. It's not bright, or it's not going to hurt your eyes to stare at it. It's nice, it's soft and calming, and it changes. And you can have it so it cycles through different colours, or by pressing the button on the back you can select just one colour. So if you just want it red, or you just want it purple, just want it blue, you can select that colour and it will stay that colour. But I think most people are going to like the auto cycle mode, which is the mode it turns on to by default, where it cycles through colours, and it looks really nice when it's sort of about to change colour, and it sort of has a bit of a blend of the two colours at first as it merges over. It looks really nice. Okay, so that is about it for that. So I'll just point out a couple things before we rig it up. This here is the main base, the water tank, and there's buttons on the back. I'll show you a close-up of that in a second. Free measuring jug. This is the lid that goes on top of the water tank. Then the final lid here, and then there's a power cord. It comes with a AC to DC or whatever power cord, and this is for sale in America, so I presume you'd get the right end for you. This is a UK 3-pin end, and I presume you'd get the right end if you are buying this in America, because it is on the US Amazon. In the UK it costs £29.99. It's £30 in the UK, and I think I'll put it as a text overlay on this video, but I think if I remember rightly, in the US it's $33. $33 or £30. Okay, so the only thing I'd like to point out before I rig this up is there's a little round hole. Actually, let me get a close-up of it. There is a little round hole in the base where you fill it up. That's a little air vent thing, and you should always cover that up with your thumb. You cover it up with your thumb while you're pouring it, and never pour water directly onto it. And when you're emptying this, cover it up with your thumb, then pour the water out, okay? Hope I'm focused properly here. Here you have a M button, an L button, and then a little hole, which is where you plug the power into. The top button is to select the different modes. So by default, you press that once to turn it on, the top button, and it will be in its timer mode, which will defuse, or whatever you want to call it, for 3 minutes, turn off, well, the light will still be on, but it will stop doing it for 1 minute, then it will do 3 minutes, turn off but keep the light on for a minute, etc. Then if you press it twice, it will be in continuous mode, where it will continually put out the stream of mist and the aroma. Then at the bottom is an L button, and by default, it's when you first turn it on, it cycles through all the different colors and it repeats. But you can press it so many times to get a different color, etc. I'll read out from the instructions just a sec. So I'll just take a quick look at the instructions, then I'll show you it rigged up. It's 12 watt. It is 100 to 240 volts. Its frequency 50 to 60 hertz. So when you want to turn it on, you press that top button on the back once, and it comes on into timer mode, where it's on for 3 minutes, then off for a minute. Although, like I say, when it's off, it still has its light on, which is good. Then if you press it again, you can always change your mind and press it a second time. You don't have to press it 2 times, just press it one more time again. It will go into continuous mode. Then when you're finished with it, you can press the top button again, and it'll turn off. Or if you're on the first mode, you're still on the timer mode and you want to turn it off, you press it twice to get to that third option, which will turn it off. Now for lights, if you don't press the light button, if you just turn on the device, it cycles through the different colours automatically. If you press the L button, which is the bottom button, the second button, once, it will go on to the blue light, twice red light, 3 times green light, 4 times purple light, 5 times fluorescent green light, 6 times sky blue light, 7 times light blue, and press it 8 times to turn it off completely. Not the device, it will still put out the mist, etc. But press the L button 8 times and it will turn off the light, but will still be in its aromatherapy mode, or whatever you want to describe it as. So if you don't like the light feature of this, but you like its use as a humidifier, etc., then you can always turn it on, press the L button 8 times, and use it with its light off. Now at the front of the device is 2 LED lights as well. There's a red one and a blue one. The red one pretty much just tells you that it has power and is turned on. Then the next one, blue, would tell you what mode it's on. So if it's on a solid blue light and it doesn't change, that means it's on continuous mode. Or if it's on timer mode, what it will do is it will be solid blue as it's doing its stuff, as it's being used as a aromatherapy device, a diffuser, humidifier, etc. Then when it stops doing that for 1 minute, the blue light will flicker to show you that it's paused. Then once a minute's up and it goes back into doing what it needs to do, it'll be solid blue again. So you know what mode you're on. If it stays solid blue, you know you're in continuous mode, and if you don't want to be, you have to change the mode. And if it's solid blue but then changes to a flickering blue light and back and forth, that means it is on your timer mode, and if you want to be on continuous mode, you'll have to press the top button one more time to get into continuous mode. Okay, I don't know how well this shows up on camera because I have a broken tripod, so I'm having trouble rigging it up where I can focus properly. Hopefully it's focused okay. This is it on, and all I've done is I've pressed the top button once at the back, and by default it's on timer mode, 3 minutes, off 3 minutes. And I haven't changed the light mode, it's on its default light mode when you first turn it on, which is cycling through colours. I don't know how well those lights show up on a camera because of the fact that you're filming. So I'm not sure how well this shows up. Also, I will turn off the light in just a sec. I noticed for a start on my little screen here on the camera that it is looking a bit odd at the moment because it's gone all dark because it's focusing on the light and stuff. Hopefully it will look okay at the end of the day. I'm just going to turn off the light so you can see the cycling of the lights properly in the dark. I don't know if I mentioned earlier, but this comes in two colours, not the colour of the lights, the colour of the product. This is the dark wood finish, which looks pretty much like a dark brown, but there is a light wood colour, which is very sort of that yellowy wood colour with lots of kind of grain effects and looks very wooden. Now, I like the light one probably the best. The light one looks really nice with the grain and stuff, but some people I've shown pictures of these two have said that the lighter colour looks more cheap, more phony, but I like it. But whatever, this is the dark version, so now, I'm not sure how well, like I say, this is going to show up on camera. I don't know if this is going to do it justice. Two things I'd like to point out at this point. For people that, there are some people that do like and don't like seeing the mist vapour coming up out of the top. Well, if you're a person that doesn't like to see it for whatever reason, then this is going to be quite good for you because you have to be in the dark and at the right angle to see it. At the moment where I'm standing up looking at it from kind of above and it's in front of me a bit, and I can just see a small white vapour trail coming out of the top. But if you're not in just the right angle, you can't see it at all. So if you're somebody that likes to see vapour trails, then that is something to bear in mind. Maybe I saw on the internet, you see, that you can get some, I don't know, I guess it's like dye you can put in with aromatherapy stuff and then it'll help colour the vapour trail. So if you really like seeing the vapour trail from these sort of products, you might want to consider that. I doubt you can even see it at all on camera, but that is something to bear in mind. Now, what about how quiet it is? I've already explained it is very, 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 very quiet, but you can just hear it. So I'm going to try picking up my microphone here a minute and putting it closer to the device and see if you can hear it. But before I do, it's on its pause mode. As I don't know if you can just see underneath near the base is the LED I was talking about. It flickers blue when it's paused, and to the left of that is a solid red light to show that it is being used and it's got power. But if you can see a blinking blue light near the base, that is to say it's on pause. Now when it starts up again, it should be a solid blue light to show it's doing what it's needing to do. Okay, I've moved the microphone quite close, so if you can hear it, it might even be exaggerated compared to if you're like in a different part of the room, because I have it quite close to the device. It is quite close to the device, so it might actually sound louder than it really is. So I'll have to play it back on the computer and see what it sounds like myself, and I'll put a text overlay on the screen to say if it's accurate or not. As you can probably see, the blue light I was talking about at the base is now solid blue because it is in timer mode, but it's doing what it needs to do. It's doing its kind of aromatherapy stuff, it's doing its humidifying, etc. So it's solid blue at the moment. Now, once those 3 minutes are up and it pauses again, it'll flicker again. But if you were to hit the top button on the back again, it will go into continuous mode and that would not flicker, that would stay solid blue until you turned it off. Or unless the water ran out and then it would auto power down, which is really good. So what do I think of this device? I love it. It costs £30, which is affordable for most people, whereas there's a lot which maybe are the same price or cheaper, but then they do less. They maybe won't do all the negative ion stuff and they won't have coloured lights. This, for £30, you get the aromatherapy aspect, you get the humidifier, you get the negative ion releasing, you get 7 LED coloured lights which you can select the one you want or you can let it cycle through them, and that looks so nice. I love it when it's going to say from blue to green and you get a little bit of both merging together, and you can have it on timer mode, which is probably recommended because they say, I've read on the internet, not to use aromatherapy things too long, otherwise instead of having a positive effect, it might actually begin to have a negative effect. So timer mode is good. maybe put it on a timer mode and have it on for, I don't know, half an hour or an hour or whatever. You can look that sort of aspect up yourself. And it has auto shut off, which I think is very important if you go get a device like this. I think you really should go for one which has auto shut off for safety. It has all of that. Auto color cycling, or select your color that you want. You can have a timer mode, continuous mode. It looks really nice. The only thing I'd suggest they tried to, if they could improve upon in future models, is the little air vent inside the water tank. You have to try and remember to cover that with your thumb when you pour water in, and when you pour your water out into the sink or whatever, you need to make sure it's covered so that it doesn't, when it's tilted, it doesn't get down inside and mess anything up. So yeah, if you're going to be using this a lot, it's got to be quite quick and easy to get into the habit of covering that with your thumb. You've got to get used to that pretty quick. But I don't like having to try to remember to do that because I'm always afraid I'll forget and then ruin it or something like that. So it's not a big deal, but that is something I think that could be improved upon in future models. But apart from that, it's an excellent aromatherapy, humidifier, diffuser and negative ion releaser for £30 in the UK, or I think about £33 in the US. It is really good. I highly recommend it. I love it. It is a Uvistar GX diffuser. Please like and comment on this video, and if you could do me a huge favour and subscribe to my YouTube channel, as it just takes a few seconds and will help me out a lot. Thanks.